Hi everyone, it's Veronica and I'm here today with a project share. I am participating in a swap with one of the ladies on YouTube, and we were going to do a toilet paper mini in the Victorian Shabby Chic style. Now that's new for me. I've never done that before, so I'm not so sure that I hit it quite right, but I think it turned out pretty well. But before I share the mini with you, I wanted to let you know some of the supplies that I used. I used the Melissa Francis 6x6 paper pad, the Attic Treasures. And I got this pad in a kit that I purchased from Tamika, who is Scrap the World here on YouTube. She used to put together kits many moons ago. So that tells you how long I've had it. And I guess I've had it that long because I have to confess I am a hoarder. But in the kit she had the 6x6 paper pad. She also had lots of trims and laces. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I still have plenty of supplies to use on something else. She also included lots of pretty flowers. She had a couple of Melissa Francis pieces in there, and you will see what was on this one on the mini. But I kept the card because it's nice and sturdy and has kind of script writing on it, so I figured I can use that on something else. And these are some of the other pieces. She also had 6x6 chipboard for you to make a mini with, some doilies, glassine bags, and some journaling tags. And she also included some of the die cuts from the collection. So I was able to use some of those. So here is my mini. And let's see here if I do this just a little. Okay. On the cover, this is one of the Melissa Francis pieces that I showed you. This is Recollections trim. Some of those gorgeous flowers that were in the kit. And what was on that big placard was the spray that you see here. These feathers are spare parts. This is a stick pin that came from a Prima set of stick pins. I have some pleated trim here as well as some beads. On the spine, I added some more beads, and I included a cameo that I purchased from Beauty Bomb Bomb, if I'm not mistaken. And this resin piece I received in a swap. And this is the back side, which has another one of those keyhole pieces to help with the binding, which is some ribbon that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. Now this mini did turn out a little chunkier than I had anticipated, but I think it's still kind of cute. So let's go through the mini. On the inside cover, this is a pocket in case, and the person that I made this for is Miss D, so because by the time I post this, she'll have it. So it's Miss D from MsDeesSpecialthings, and I'll put a link to her YouTube channel so that you can visit her. She's very talented, so you would want to check out some of her creations. On the first page, these pieces came from a Jolie set. So I left this kind of wide open to put a photo on. Each toilet paper roll does have a tag. And the tabs on the tags were made using the Spellbinders die, the tag die that was by Donna Salazar. On the next page, here I did a little swivel piece that you can put journaling or photos on, and a larger photo can go here. This is flat back pearls, and this trim came from Joann's. On the next page, I made a little pocket using some pleated trim, some rosettes, and This is the doily lace punch by Martha Stewart. You can put a big photo here. This I stamped on the pattern paper using a Just Right stamp, and I made a little pocket out of a paper bag, and inside I put a couple of journaling spots, and there is another one down in there. And when you open it up, you can put photos on those here and on the back side. On the next page, I used a Spellbinders die to cut this and just punched a hole and put some thin ribbon. And this is a, I'm sorry, I'm out of frame, a doily from the Paper Bag Lady, and this is a Recollections piece. On the next page, I did a little fold out, placed it in a pocket. These are a couple of journaling spots here, and it does come out okay with some lace trim, and the beading is connected to the trim. And here, journaling and or photos, and the back side as well. So I tried to give her a lot of opportunities for photos. I'm not going to pull each tag out of the pocket because they're all the same, just the tabs are a little different. On the next page, this chipboard piece came from the $1.50 spot at Michael's. This is another one of those pieces out of the Jolie's set. I just popped this chipboard piece up to add these Dodge tickets, Tim Holtz. This butterfly came from Wild Orchid Crafts, and then I used some Recollections pearl trim here, and I cut a couple of butterflies from the pattern paper. The next page, I used, this is Recollections and Wild Orchid Crafts, and this lace trim came from my stash. To add a little more color, what I did was took that same little thin pink ribbon that you've seen and just ran it through. And this is a little fold out. I added journaling spots and places for photos. And here. I hope that you're seeing this pretty well. More cloudy weather, more rain, a little sunshine peeking through every now and again, so I'm having to have my overhead light on. Okay, on the next page, I left this open for a larger photo, and these corners are Cherry Lynn dies, and then I just added a little pearl in the center. On the next page, I did quite a bit of layering here. This is a paper tray ink die, then a spare parts piece, paper bag lady doily, and a cameo. And this was from the paper collection. I just took it and folded it in half, and you can use it for journaling or photo, and you can also put a photo here. On the next page, I think this is Cloud 9, this epoxy piece from Joann's, and it says, "The moment may be temporary, but the memory is forever." And I just mounted it on a piece that I cut using Spellbinders die, and then pop that up, and you can actually put some memorabilia down in the pocket. And the next page here, I created, used a bottle cap. The image came from the internet, and this is one of those bottle caps that's already flattened from Hobby Lobby. And the pink piece is Spellbinders. Then I just added a paper doily, and you can lift this up and put a full photo here. I carried that doily all the way over to the other side. Same thing here. Uh-oh, I'm sorry, I was out of frame on that one. Okay, and here this is Recollections beading, and this piece came off of a bracelet that I got from Michael's. So I was going to use it as a flower center, but it was perfect there. And on the back side, you still have another pocket that she can use. Okay. And with that, I made her a card. And I was inspired by Tammy, who is SS Crafter 1 here on YouTube. She makes tag cards. And she used the corrugated cards from Michael's, which is what I use. You cut it in half and you can get 2 cards out of that. I just added some trim at the bottom and put some some bling across that. This is one of those Recollections little resin pieces again. This is Recollections trim, and I just put that on top. Cut a butterfly using an MS punch and just added some more pearls here. They were initially white, so I used my Copic marker to color those in. I just added a ribbon up here for closure, and I think this came from the dollar store. And let's get this open. And once you open it, there was a spot for the message, so I just cut Spellbinders pieces for that and layered those. This is also Spellbinders, and I cut it twice so that I could cut the oval out in a contrasting color. And it says here, friend is one of the nicest things you can have and one of the best things you can be. So with that, we all have gained friends by being on YouTube, just made some great associations. So I thought that was a very appropriate piece to put in there. And I also decorated this bag, altered this bag rather, canvas bag that I got from Michael's to put her goodies in. I did do a video on this bag because I entered it into a challenge that was being held by Staple M1, who is Markeisha. I added some Chinese braid trim, some flat back pearls, and some lace trim from Joann's, and lots of Wild Orchid Crafts flowers. The sprays came from an Etsy shop, and this was a saying that I found in a K & Company set that I had, and I just typed it and cut it out using a Spellbinders die. Okay, and in her bag she will receive, and I really wanted to try this. I was inspired by Tamika, again, who has Scrap the World, and she was inspired by Rose S915. These are the little Starbucks Frappuccino bottles. So what I did was put the dangly inside is Arctic cake. And I just used pleated trim and pearls to put around the bottle. Inside I used that burlap from the ribbon department in Hobby Lobby. And I added, let's see if you can see that, the Eiffel Tower on there. That was a brad that I got from Hobby Lobby. And I just added some black pearls on there. The flower, I actually made the flower, and then what I did was added some of the eyelash trim that came from Michael's, and this flower is spare parts from Hobby Lobby, and I thought it was perfect because of the burlap look on it to contrast with the burlap that's in the bottle. And she will also be receiving some Arctic cakes. I don't know why I cannot get that out. This one and this one. And also some metal pieces. And these pieces came from Monica on the Scrapyard, which is, the Scrapyard is on Facebook. And I found out about them through Shantae, who is Shatana here on YouTube. So she's getting a couple of metal pieces, well, several metal pieces, which I think are really cute. I love these corners. I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay. Here you can layer a piece in the center. And I know these are bright and shiny. Some of the pieces are, but you can tone them down with Rub and Buff and some other stuff. Okay, so that concludes the items that she'll be receiving. Hopefully she will like what I've made. I hope you were inspired by it. And I would love to hear your comments. And what I will do in the description box is leave Tamika's and Tammy's links to their channels, and also the link to Dee's channel, Dee's Special Things. So have a wonderful scrappy day, and I'll see you soon.